Ain't it just beautiful this morning? Be awake, be alive, be putting yourself slightly into overdrive with a semi-mellow rockin' tune from our soul brothers of the heart, Chicago from back in the day, man. Right here, giving in the Coyote way, designed to get you dancing, eh? Get you up and prancing around on that old mattress, wouldn't you say? Bust that thing up a bit, man. You need a new one anyway. Let's get the jumping up and down and partying all around. Right here, because that's the way today, man, as we're waking up inside and becoming, the child of the wild that we really are. Man, it's time, ain't it? Yeah, I think so, baby, because that is our medicine here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Where else but the ever-loving and sweethearted and genuinely concerned about you, AZ Radio Network. Because we see what you do all the time, baby. It's like Santa Claus, man. We got angels everywhere. They report back, and oh my goodness. I mean, some of the visions they share, they don't tattle on you. They just show the vision, you know. They're kind of like, motion picture cameras in the wagon that they can record everything, man. And they do, of course. That's part of their job. We have specialist angels that do that shit, Yeah, so they record every moment you live in, man, and if you need to play it back sometime, well, they'll just be right there handy with the projector, don't you see? Oh, take a look at this little moment back there in that divine history, eh? Ooh, I don't know if you're real proud of that one, are you? But that's okay, because listen, I show it to you so you can let it go today, man. That's the deal, man. If it makes you uncomfortable and you were embarrassed by it, it's best to go back there and embrace yourself now and be embarrassed. It's okay. No big deal, man. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, Because really in your heart, do you feel any judgment other than coming from yourself? See? Yeah, man. Anything that's in the world around you reflects back to the attitude of your own heart. It gets real subtle, babies. It does. It gets down to some real deep levels, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to see because it's tricky, We play these little jokes on ourselves, in this intricate sort of way, and our little mentality just gets out of hand and thinks it's really, really grand, when in fact it's just like, a part of the earth, man. A part of the land, the sea, the sky, the air, the atmosphere, all of it. Part of the universe, man. Those speck of dust in time, stuck in time, but the prison walls dissolve away. There's all these little coyote birds come out to play, yes, indeed, each and every day in that coyote way. See, we're starting to catch on, man, what the dance is and how it is given. See, we stepped, so far away from it. So we had to invent rock and roll to bring us back to our heart and soul so we could remember what we're all about, man, and get to dancing like we really knew it, and get to partying like, well, okay then, let's have a good time, because that's all we got time for now, is a good time. See, that's why you won't tolerate others putting up, crap in your face and so forth, man, because it's time to party. It ain't time to contest, As the demon dies, let's dance on its grave, man, and let it know we had a good time with it and send it on its way, man. Shit, and do so gracefully, God, the torment in our soul has been so tremendous, babies. You got to understand what's really been going on here. This movement of heart that is this large heart we call humanity. Good God, guys. Do you realize that we embodied certain elements here that no other person in the universe dared even exist in? It was a challenge, babies. The extremes. The God-blessed extremes is stretching it as far as you could, So there we got this evil dark one, and Mama has got to get that one dancing on the dance floor. Not just dancing, but loving her once again so she can bring it back into her heart. Help it reformate itself just a wee slight bit, eh? So she gave the woman to be that. Now that woman's given in some men too, so it's not always genderized, but she gave the woman the spirit energy of Mary Jane, as I call it, to come forward and to gentle down the wild dog into man. The demonic presence is more in the male, the more or less lucid ones in the female, the ones that are flowing and bringing you back into that love. See, now we missed the shot. We've been so obsessed with one another. We see, out of that premise, out of the idea that woman and man, we're going to work this thing out together, you know. Well, instead of like being casual and cordial about it, we turned it into a damn battlefield, you know. And it's about who's right and what's right and all this shit. Instead of just going with the flow and being in the heart and dancing with it. See, we missed each other that way. We thought we had to peck at each other and do all these crazy, strange rituals and shit like that, you know, and go get married and shit like, oh, God. Whew. But see, we had to get us through somehow, so we designed that. We even made the battlefield and the battles to go with it. We designed all of that at the heart level. You see, and as you begin to realize that now, as that dawning of revelation, revealing to yourself the truth of your own life begins, baby, you see now the nature of the cosmic dance you've always been involved in, you see. It makes nearly everything somewhat forgivable. Nearly. Somewhat. Eh? Darlings, you don't need to forgive anything. You see what's been going on, you're okay with it. And it's worked out just right, because we're here now. Where our wings spread out and we take flight. We don't have to wait no more. We're here. You know, it's the medicine show, man. And it's in the morning, and the best time of day to get yourself underway, wouldn't you say? I mean, who wants to sleep till noon, June, unless you've been partying all night and you didn't get to bed till 7 or something? You're excused. That's okay, man. You got to do what you got to do. We get to you in your dreams just as well anyway, especially if it's a drunken stupor. Then you're an open target, man. The love just comes sailing in. When you wake up in the morning, you might still have a bit of a headache or something, but you're going to feel a whole lot different about life, and you're going to act a whole lot different in it. Those days of getting drunk and stupid and, you know, doing dumbass things are over with. These days we're high on life. We're learning what life really is, and that's what gets us high, you see, because we start to see the joy in it. We start to realize the paradise side of it, which we've been missing forever. So focused on the hellacious thing. Because we had to be. We had to work it out, man. We had to get that one back in our heart, didn't we? That's just one level of it. Goes deeper and broader than that, of course, to where we're like hand puppets, man, on a stage, you know. Ruled over by the heart of the mother love, but we had to learn our lesson somehow. Better to do it on a puppet stage than, you know, someplace where you could really hurt somebody, right? Okay, so we've all been hurt here. I don't mean to discount the displeasure or the pleasure in your pain, man, you masochistic little shits. Hey, I know I speak well of this one, but I tell you what, it goes on at such a deep level, you don't even know it sometimes. You're just busy punishing yourselves, you know, for something that you don't even know that's going on inside. It gets deep, see what I mean about subtle? But if you just relax a little bit, go with the flow of this here medicine show. Get some rock and roll, little rhythm back in your soul, little harmony in your heart. Oh, darlings, then you got to start. And you see, they come out to play in a whole different way, you know. And, you know, the frog prince turns out to be the handsome prince, etc. You know what I mean? The dragons melt away. All the horrific shit is over with. The cosmic play can redo itself anytime it wants, you know, and now it wants to, man, because it thinks you're pretty damn cool, and it'd like to see you make something out of it this time, instead of just having to go back and be a cold cadaver in the ground for a while. Screw that shit, man. Or a little soda ash in the air, whatever it is, man. Enough of that shit, you know. Enough of all this shit, really. I mean, look around you in this 3-day. You ever seen a more corrupt and crazy world in all your lifetimes? Well, maybe we have, but babies, this is awful damn close to the worst it's ever been. Yet at the same time becoming the best, because out of that darkness, man, we bring up consciousness in the most unusual of beings. Police officers and soldiers and clerks and shite like that, man, you know, that are so integral in this life that they're usually the numbed down little robots that just do what they're told because they get rewarded really well. Like really good trained pigeons or something, you know, and they always return to the roost, you know, etc. You know, they're reliable. They're the backbone of the reality. The dummy ones that just go along with the program because that's all they got, you know, and that's where they find their identity. You know, poor kids. So when those very beings, those very presences that have so far removed themselves from the reality as to be the enforcers for idiots, we set them free. We let them feel their heart because they're very special to us, you know. These are the loving regulators of life as we've lived it here in 3D, and by golly, we're going to make sure that they do a good job of it. Compassionate, wise, handle the circumstances exactly as they need to be handled in accordance to a rhythmic heart that beats in the rhythm of love in everyone that lives, and no life is disrespected here. None. If you think you can draw down on one another, you better think again, because it ain't going to happen no more. You know, I see the time coming, and it's very clear in my heart, baby, so I know it's real. Where, you know, talk about the uniting of the space fleets. Here we got all of the families of the universe uniting in a rather large and expansive place where it can start to begin. And babies, there's unity amongst, I mean, there's ships all over the sky. It's thick with them. There's people on the ground that are just so tuned in, so tapped in. And there's a gigantic merging going on, an awakening again, another step, another way. But it's where the worlds really, truly do unite. But you got to understand that's only 1/3 of the element here. When we unite with our cosmic cousins in our universe here, which for the most part is a hologram, then we begin to unite with the larger picture that paints this one, the artist, the living one in everyone. Now, I choose to call her Mary Jane. If you want to keep it masculine and have all that pain, go ahead, man. See where it gets you. Mary Jane away. She's a good girl like that. She's real patient. Not like me, man. I ain't got no patience. Shit. You know, my car got stuck yesterday in the driveway, and I about burned it up trying to get it out of there. I'm so impatient, you know, shit. That's why I sit around here and chomp at the bit. Oh, my God, you ought to see that. Oh, my God. Wow, what a, I just took a glance out the window, and wow, we got all this glorious Sangre de Cristo, misty, red gold coming up in the hazy clouds over the San Juan Mountains, about 60, 80 miles to the west of me there. And at the same time, a couple of crows go flying by in formation, of course. What a magic world we live in, you see. Our divine heart shows us of its great love all the time in quiet little moments like that. And all we got to do is slow down enough to pay attention, and then your heart automatically generates the appreciation. Because you can't be in a moment like this without appreciation. Goes with the turf, don't you know? You see, and out of that comes the refueling of our entire reality. Talk about free energy and then some. Everyone is empowered to be the creative aspect that they are in this reality. It's quite a different place to be, and that's again why some are trying to keep you focused here. You know, give you all kinds of horrible things to contemplate. Don't get suckered into it, man. Listen to your heart. Don't even put on that uniform today, let alone the badge. Screw all that shit, man. You're better than all that. Go out there in your civilian clothes today and love everybody, man. And just be chill. Don't even check in or out of the office. Screw them and their paycheck, too. It's worthless now, and you know it. It's your turn to show people what being human really is. It's you guys and gals' turn to unite the human heart by doing what's just right in every moment that you live. And not following anybody's senseless orders anymore. But being in touch with your heart, so you're in the flow of all that is around you. You won't have to be regulators anymore because you just became so. By your flow, you regulate the reality you live in. By your attitude, in other words. And if it's gratitude, well, imagine the world you're living in. See, this is something we've all been taught, to look past what we have already and yearn for more, you see, instead of like coming back here and seeing what we really have here in this moment right now. No matter how meager or wealthy our circumstances might be or anything in between. Just see what we got and love it. You see, that's the message of prosperity, and if you want to live it, it doesn't have anything to do with the monetary world, to tell you the truth, because that's not prosperity. That's disparity. That's imbalance. That's life in under a fictional rule. A heartless thing called profit and loss and stuff like that. Accounting. The rigid world of numbers. Of measuring what's in our cup. Instead of just appreciating what's there, no matter how full or empty it might be, to say, wow. And if it's empty, you just say, wow, that was great, man. I'm glad I got to enjoy that. You see, it's just all a matter of attitude. But that comes from the gratitude inside when you begin to allow yourself to look beyond the restricted reality of pain and ungainly things. To not believe the politicians, let alone the political world in general, let alone the government or the industries behind it. These heartless machines. You know that's not created of humanity. You know that's not our nature. It doesn't feel right every time you drive past that old steel mill or that oil refinery, etc., etc. You know it's bullshit. You just didn't know any different. You went along to get along, and you can't be blamed for that, but you sure know different now, don't you? God almighty, and as you're going down, it's like Dorothy and Toto going down the yellow brick road as you're driving down the boulevard there today, man. You betcha. And it's all popping up posies behind you, man. I'm telling you, the nasty shit is going away. We're melting it down in our reality, in our conscious presence. See, that's the blast furnace of love. It changes things quickly. It unites us planetarily so these things come into being rapidly. And all the harm we've done here in the name of this unemotional love called money is undone. And all the power in it, of course, has gone away anyway. You see it failing right before your very eyes. This is your own lesson for yourself. Where you put your treasure, that's where your heart's going to be. Only you fooled yourself, because your heart's always in the loving space. No matter who you are or how you've chosen to portray yourself in this reality. Are you listening, Dick? Hey, chump. Etc. Do you hear your own heart talking to you now? Wouldn't it be beautiful if all of a sudden Congress and the senators and all the bureaucracies and shit around there, especially the pentagram over there, the very essence of evil. I'm sorry, no reflection on you Wiccans. I love you, babies. But the old dastardly little pentagon over there that just can't help itself but be nasty and evil and terrible and wicked and a bunch of damn, well, you know what? Wow. Love bunnies. Posies popping up all over the place, man, just as you're passing through. Saying, here's a little bit of love for you, man. Here's a little awakening. Wouldn't it be beautiful if all of these beings were suddenly feeling a harmonious vibe and only wanted to work tirelessly for the betterment of humanity, for each other especially, but not in a hurtful way. They don't have that greedy take shit anymore. They don't need to lord it over you. They're there to help. I mean, wouldn't it be sweet if hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help really meant something? Besides you're going to jail, buddy, or we're going to shoot you or whatever, illegal search and seizure, blah, blah, blah. Our government's been operating outside the law here in the U.S. of A., but of course worldwide, because we have such a great have had such a great influence here. Well, guess what? We still do, but it's different. That economic thing was bullshit. And we all knew it. We saw the disempowerment. We felt it. Now you got big disasters going on, likely to kill off half, 3/4 of the world's populations. Yeah, you heard me right. These things aren't just little simple things happening, little fractures in the reality, little mistakes people are making. This is life-stopping experience that we've been creating. Thank God, inside yourself, that we've had some help. To kind of contain and minimize the effects of these things until the bulk of us can catch up and understand how it is we transform our own reality. Then again, this is when we dissolve into the creation, become the creation, which automatically is reformatted in the way of the heart. I often compare it to putting together the last piece in the puzzle, and all of a sudden the picture becomes clear. It's not obscure anymore. We don't live in the shadow way. Not in the shadow world. The Cosma darlings, Saint Mary J, which is a metaphor now. The mother love. The fine maiden, the fairest maiden of all. Dancing with the devil and having a great time with it, Brought that devil right back into her heart, showed him how. This is what she's done for generations now. She's demonstrated again and again the reality of her truth, her love, to males and men's and presences beyond that wouldn't listen, couldn't connect. Yet little by little she's wore down the resistance, in herself and others too, because she became quite resistant. When you're rejected all the time, what you gonna do? Build a wall? Oh shit. See, that's when it gets crazy and all out of whack. When all we gotta do is realize, we've been dancing with that devil all along. That's what this whole thing has been, is a cosmic dance, an experience in romance. Of loving ourselves enough to see beyond the biggest boogeyman we could create for ourselves. The most nasty, evil, horrible thing you could imagine. To love ourselves beyond that kind of perception, that kind of expression. To love ourselves in creation enough, of course, to turn that around instantaneously, I might add, because when you realize moments like this, you realize your empowerment in creation. And there ain't no frickin' thing in your way. As long as you allow yourself to dream it, to be in this dreaming sort of way. Some call it vision, some call it walking the realms, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension. We've got all these fucking definitions here that mean nothing. Nothing. The truth is living in all elements of all realities at the same time. Therefore, there is no dimensional division between us and anything. That's why I can see a sky filling up with spaceship loves everywhere. Because they're there already, man. It's just a matter of allowing ourselves to see what be. You want disclosure? Disclose yourself. Embrace yourself. Love yourself. For the lack of empowerment you have felt, if nothing else, give it up to your heart. To the truth living inside of you. This is what I'm a-doing. Little by little, I'm a-getting there, babies. I'm just sharing it with you. I'm not trying to say, I know the way. I'm finding the way right along with you, because we do know it together, all of us. There ain't nobody separate in this journey. Not a one doggone being, man. Isn't that awesome? And we're starting to remember that. See, and if we can share this kind of consciousness on this level with those that surround us, the war is over. No matter where it is or who it is or how it has been done and how many thousands of years it's been going on. When people see the essence of life in everyone and experiences as if it's their own, well, babies, the whole world, the whole paradigm is undone. See, we're just seeing the preparations for that in the 3D, the world in which we supposedly live. Well, we're giving some power to that now, babies. We're going to show life what it really is. Inside of ourselves. Right now, and how. And of course, continuing on, because this moment lasts forever. It's the gathering. The reunion. The letting go of the bullshit reality. Letting it be the fertile field from which all flowers of life arise and blossom forth with their cousins, uncles, and aunts from across the universe and throughout creation, in a happy, joyous celebration of how cool we really fucking are. Forgive me, man, but you need the added emphasis today. I feel it, so it flows through me, okay? I'll behave myself hereafter, but I had to have emphatic plus energy there, so I use some colorful, flowery terms. Forgive me, babies. You're in my heart always. You're the one concern I have in this life, and something I could never really step away from. As a person myself, I always felt, if I didn't see the larger picture, I didn't always know it, just like you, I was disempowered in it for a long time, till it started flowing through me as a reality. That changes things, babies. That's what's going on for you today. I'm sharing that same transition. When it becomes a living thing, babies, it's different than listening to somebody's bullshit on the radio, let me tell you. Let alone putting up with them on YouTube and all the ranting and raving going on over there. But oh my God, what a treasure trust of truth if you're willing to go there and search around it and let it show itself to you. Real demonstration. Yeah. Hey, and kids, while we're dreaming and we're helping out everybody to really realize who they are and what they're all about, the imagined world, that even little Connie Talbot can sing about so poetically. God, she gives life to the John Lennon's words in a whole different way, doesn't she? That innocence, man, that pure innocence comes through her voice, which reminds us of our own truth. See how we give you that emotional start right along with the rest of it, man, because it's all about feeling. That's how we're dealing the cards today in this magnificent Monday on the Coyote Medicine Show with your host, Grandpa Coyote, and so much more. Lots of angels and ancestors and cousins, uncles and aunts from throughout the universe. Couple of ETs, as I say, just to be funny about it. To realize how crowded our Earth already is. Well, you're beginning to see it, man. Shit. There's life everywhere. And guess what? It's happy and harmonious, and there ain't no pollution anywhere. So do what you got to do in this 3D reality. Take care of yourself. But keep in this flow, babies. Don't let it take you away from yourself. Live in this. And you'll find yourself loving life like you never have before. And because you can love it, it begins to love you and reflect that love back to you. See, that's the source essence of creation in a nutshell. When you love it, it loves you, and then you become merged cosmically. And there ain't no devil, there ain't no fair maid. There's just these two beautiful souls performing the ritual dance of love that goes on forever. Experiencing one another as the one presence in two beings, which are three. Include the music that moves them, you see, the band, the heart, the vibrational harmony of life, as I say. It's the music of the heart and soul. You see, and it's a feeling, and it's also a vision. It's a way of seeing and understanding and being inside of yourself. It kind of takes, as it de-densifies, as the old world dissolves away inside, and the ache and grieving heart to go with it, a new energy comes forward. Well, at least it seems like it. It's not really. It's been here all the time. We become forward into what we become aware of, you see. This new energy comes forward then and just retranslates the reality. Starting inside of yourself, you start to feel the life in all the elements of yourself and parts you thought divided and so forth, even though you saw it all working in harmony for the most part. But you go in a different way now, from the middle center of your being, the presence of conscious reality, comes this new form of creation. At least that's the way we see it. It's really a remembrance of how things really are, and in experiencing the energy that creates life. The essential source. You call it God, you call it Great Spirit, but that's what it is. Mother love, babies, in my opinion. That's how I feel it and experience it. But it's very enlightening. It's very empowering. Because then you can see the honorable and the dishonorable lives we've lived and move beyond such conceptions. Because you just see life as a living, glittering, glowing, and very happy essential source expressing itself in all these colorful forms and figurements to make up the planetary realities we all kind of try to live in. It's kind of hard to keep our expansive nature contained in such a tiny little place. Yet it all arises from someplace, and it's tiny as the tiniest little speck there can ever be, isn't it? Some of us were down to nothing, weren't we? But we sure as hell ain't now, are we? It's a living thing. And you ain't never going to lose it. No, babies. Just listen to the flow of your own medicine, don't you know? Your own rock and heart and soul. The rhythm of life as it portrays through your ears, eyes, heart, feelings. Oh yeah, babies. We're getting real now, babies. And how? Grandpa Coyote on the Coyote Medicine Show, sharing a great big heart hug with you, don't you know?